I think that will be such a wonderful opportunity for you guys to hear what Leisha is all about, the work that she does do.
The most significant way to increase our empowerment is to work on our wounding, because our wounding distorts our reality, and then we act, believe, and feel from that distorted reality. Healing our wounds means we integrate and we create space. And when we do that, we literally become an open channel for our soul essence, our soul directives, our soul guidance, our soul truth to download into our mind, into our body, into our life.
And something that I've spoken about quite a lot with my audience is the fact that, you know, our wounds are coming up to surface at the moment, and there is a challenge in that, but there's also a great gift, because when wounding comes up, it's the opportunity to heal. You guys are welcome to say hi and let me know where you are tuning in from, because I know that there are people tuning in from all over the world, which has also excited Leisha and I so much. So we've got hello from France, hello, welcome, Zimbabwe, Sweden, Latvia, Johannesburg, Cape Town, Australia, Cape Town, South Africa, London, Stellenbosch, so many, Botswana again, that's wonderful, Centurion, New York, Australia, so great, we really are connecting, Argentina, Peter Maritzburg. So there really are people, Estonia, oh, wow, welcome. People tuning in from all over the world. I've just gotten goosebumps. I feel very, very excited.
Amazing. Welcome, everybody.
And Leisha, thank you for making the time to be here today. For most of you know, I've been working with Leisha for 2 years now, and it has been one of the most transformative times of my life. I have treasured this time working with Leisha, and so we've been wanting to collaborate to do something to bring you more information and more support. And so this is what's happening now. But Leisha, we were saying the other day that we've been planning this for how many months?
Well, I think we talked about it in November, and then we were going to do it in December, and then it was going to be January, and then lots of things got in the way and things got shifted, and then it's happening now, which is perfect.
It is absolutely perfect. I'm getting somebody was saying to me that the sound is a little bit low, so I'm just checking my outputs. Please let me know if that is better. Let me know if that is okay, guys, and if you can hear Leisha and I clearly. Hello from Australia, Pretoria, Sweden, the Arctic Circle. Wow, New Zealand. We're gonna just let everybody jump on here. This is really great to have so many participants with us today. As Leisha was saying, we've been speaking about this for months, and we've been so excited to bring this to you. I've been working with Leisha as my spiritual coach for just near 2 years now, and we've been working one-on-one, and I always thought it's such a pity that that she can't reach more people, but she obviously only has so many hours in a day. And then she told me that she was thinking of launching a lovely membership, and so I said, well, that's fantastic. And then I said, don't you want to do an interview and come and chat to all the people I connect with, because I think that will be such a wonderful opportunity for you guys to hear what Leisha is all about, the work that she does do. So Leisha, you were on my show last week as well, and we were speaking, we touched on wounding. And I think that, you know, I don't know if you've heard, but my heart actually ached the other day when I heard the statistic, but South Africa is currently having the highest rate of domestic violence. And it's had because people are stuck inside. And something that I've spoken about quite a lot with my audience is the fact that, you know, our wounds are coming up to surface at the moment, and there is a challenge in that, but there's also a great gift, because when wounding comes up, it's the opportunity to heal and work through it. So maybe we can discuss what a wound really is, so that we can just very clearly define what that is, and then we can add to the conversation from there.
Sure. Firstly, welcome everyone. So lovely to be here with you. It's a real blessing for me to share in a space like this, and especially now with everything that's going on the planet. I think it's really important that we come together and come together regularly. So let's really talk about what wounding is. Wounding, from my perspective, is it's a combination of a misperception that you've created on some level of your being, and it's often unconscious, right, until it comes into the conscious mind, combined with emotional charge. Then those two things get together and create limited belief systems. So if somebody had a betrayal wound, for example, they may not know they have it. You know, our wounds are there over time. You know, they gradually emerge and we gradually become aware of them. That person may experience betrayal or perceive betrayal more heavily and more intensely than other people. So, you know, when we say we get triggered by something, and that's an indication of where our wounding is. If somebody's really triggered by disloyalty and dishonesty, I mean, none of us like that, of course, but if somebody's really outraged by that, experiences that a lot, is hypersensitive about that, then they're in reaction, they're in trigger because they have a wound about that theme. So the wound might say something to them like, I can't trust people, you know, people will hurt me, I can't open up to people. So the wound itself is that misperception. People aren't trustworthy. I'm afraid of being betrayed. You know, that's a wound. On top of that, obviously there's emotional charge, which is where we get triggered and emotional and reactive, and we hold, you know, anger and sadness and hurt. But we also then go on and create limitations, which isn't the wound itself. It's what we end up creating, you know, it's a ramification of our wounding. So if somebody has a betrayal charge and they're triggered about that, but they haven't realized that yet, they haven't realized there's a point of healing that's required around that, they may go on and create ramifications and limitations that look like being guarded, not trusting, not being open, not letting people in, having issues with intimacy. So they're the ramifications, they're the limitations that happen as a result of a core wound. So whenever we get triggered about anything in life, however small, however large, it's like a little beacon of light going off saying, hey, there's a wound here. You know, there's a wound inside of you. And I don't mean, you know, it's okay to dislike things in life. It's okay. It's absolutely okay to not condone things, you know, that are out of integrity and that are hurtful and harmful. It's even okay to have reactions around that. But if we notice there's a pattern in our life where we always react about that same thing, or we always get triggered about that same thing, or we get drawn into that theme all the time, there's a really big wound there.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's your higher self saying, look at this, feel this, acknowledge this, and work with this, because it's creating countless limitations that are preventing you from being in your potential and living a totally full life.
Absolutely. You know, one of the ways that a lovely sort of visual image for people to kind of hold in their minds, which I experienced, and so I came up with it when I was ill, was that, you know, the universe's natural desire is to assist you on your path. It wants to help you live in purpose, in flow, in well-being, in joy, in love. And so when there is a wound, it will, you'll bump into it so that you pay attention to it so that it can heal. So it's like, I liken it to having like a splinter in your toe. If you've got a splinter in your toe will find every door, every corner of the table, every surface that it can possibly bump into, so that it can remind you that there's a splinter in your toe that you need to pay attention to, so that you can pull that splinter out so that you can heal. And the funny thing is that as humans, we go, oh no, that splinter's too deep. I'm just going to put a plaster over it and just pretend it's not there. We'll put masks on, coping mechanisms to deal with that splinter so that it's hidden away and we don't have to actually face it and deal with it. But because, like the innate wisdom of the body is to heal, the universe is the same thing. Our body will then eventually, if you're not paying attention and you're not doing the work, that splinter will become septic and you will have to pay attention to it. And the same thing happens in our lives, in the universe. And which is very interesting, Leisha, because I feel like that's what's happened in the universe now, is that we were not paying attention. We were not listening and doing what needed to be done. And so the universe kind of went, okay, slow down, everyone. Go inside and pay attention, because there is a transformation, a healing that needs to happen. That's how I'm sensing what is happening at the moment. What is your sense of that?
I'll just let you know, I got a message, Susanna, to say that someone's saying the meeting is full and they can't get into the webinar.
Oh, wow.
Just let you know. I think we're at 100 participants, but we had quite a few more wanting to come in. So I'm not sure if you can do anything on your end there.
I'm not sure if I can, but let me try. You keep going.
That's okay, sure. Look, I think what's happening on the planet right now is an intensified purge of our wounds, or an opportunity to heal wounding that's being highly activated. So it's an opportunity because there are people on the planet that at this point won't know from that consciousness level that it's their personal wounding that's being activated. But this opportunity is going to run and run and run and run. And that's why it's so globally intense, and it's, affecting the global consciousness, because we did need a bit of a wake-up call. And I've started getting this message around November of 2019 that coming into this new decade, there is a very strong call. We've got to step it up, guys. We've got to step up our personal healing. We've got to step up our willingness to look at our wounds, to connect with them, and to go deeper into them. Because if you look at every single thing in the external world, absolutely everything, all the cruelty, all the fear-mongering, all the deception, any aspect of shadow at all, it's a reflection of people's wounding. War, it's all a reflection of people's wounding. Every single thing is an external reflection of an internal wound or an internal fragmentation inside a person, a group, a government, an organization, a country, and a collective. So when we have a global event like we're experiencing now, it's a mass purging or a mass activation of our wounding, of our fragmentation, where we're separated inside, for us to feel it. And unfortunately, temporarily, hopefully, that is causing, like you said, Susanna, a domestic violence increase. We are actually having that occur in Australia as well. And that is, it's a sad event, but what it also is an opportunity for people in those relationships to see it front, close and center, perhaps in a way they haven't before. And there's an opportunity there for doing something different, for responding differently, for changing what they do. And that's in every single situation at the moment. It doesn't matter what the wound is or what the trigger is. I might share something personal, which is a good example. I've been so neutral and so relaxed about everything that's going on, and doing my meditations and working with my people and sharing my message. And only yesterday did I have my first trigger around some of the things that are going on in Australia around the fines and the policing of isolation. And I think, yes, we all need to be responsible and cooperate and all the rest of it. But there were a few cases of where the policing of the isolation recommendations were taken too far. And I did have a trigger that was a bit militant. It was a bit of a civil rights issue. And so I knew I was triggered. I knew that it was a trigger, so therefore I had a charge on it. So I just went and lay down on my bed and I said, okay, all right, higher self, just take me into this. Like, it's not about that. I know it's not about what the police are doing and those people who I don't know are having that experience. So what is it for me? And this is what I recommend all of you guys do. When you have a trigger, my husband will tell you, I do this all the time. I do it in the car. I do it when we're in the mall. I do it anywhere. I'm like, oh no, I'm having a trigger. I've just got to tune in and ask, like, what is my higher self going to tell me about this? So your higher self will respond to you. You don't have to be a psychic. You don't have to have any special gifts. You know, everyone can receive connection to the higher self, and the higher self will always be there for you. And it may not be in a specific, voice or a specific way in the moment, but it will always come through for you. And so I said, what is this about for me? And I could feel the physical points of my body that were holding charge, which was the first point of recognition I needed to have, was to feel it in my tissues. And the second thing was to feel the emotion, and the theme was, so for me, it was about oppression. It was about dominance. And I do have a charge that I've been working with in my life around being kind of trapped. That comes up for me sometimes. So it was about that. There's nothing to do with what was going on in the outside world. So all I was guided to do was feel it and acknowledge it. That's it. And just actually breathe my heart energy into it. And it eventually dissipated. Look, it did take a couple of days. And this is the thing that's important too, that we've just got to be present with it and let it unfold. Our woundings and our wounded stories have been there a really, really long time. They're not something that we can just pop necessarily. We can sometimes just pop limited belief or a charge occasionally very quickly like that. But wounding usually is there as a learning path. So deep core wounds are there usually for long periods of time, often lifetimes, and they're there for us to work with in a layered way to get deeper and deeper and deeper. And this one I have got a lot better at, and I've certainly got a lot better at recognizing the trigger, so I can say, okay, great, and work with it. So that's an experience I just had in the last 48 hours, and I was so interested in that because your mind will want to project it onto the story. So my mind was saying, this is not okay. This is an abuse of power. What I was witnessing was going on. And I was aware that my mind was saying it, but I was also aware I had an emotional reaction. And, this is where self-awareness is so important, because we can get lost in the mind and lost in the emotions, and that just becomes our reality. And we stay angry and we stay contracted, and we also stay separate to people and police and this and that and whatever, we're manifesting on that level. And that actually just enforces the wound. It doesn't heal it. So this is the message, guys, that was so strong. And it's one of the core messages that I'm going to bring through all year, is we have to be more committed to going deeper into our stuff, into our wounds and our triggers for healing.
Leisha, I'm going to respond to that now. I don't know why, but it has reached its full level of capacity. So for anybody who is sending a message, or anybody else who does want to join and you want to let other people know, we are live streaming through my Instagram.
I'll just let her know.
And through Facebook. And so if there is a problem in joining the webinar, please do just spread the word. You can watch through Instagram and Facebook. And everybody who did register, I will be sending a link to the full webinar afterwards as well. I would love you guys to stay online, because Leisha is going to be announcing something very special towards the end of the session today, which I would like to share with you guys. But just so that you will be able to access this recording so that you can watch the whole thing afterwards as well.
The sound suddenly got much better as well.
I see that somebody said that, which is great. So I'm glad that the sound is clear now. And thank you for bearing with me, guys. For some reason, and I think this, and possibly this is a good thing to share right now, as Leisha's just shared, you know, you are clearing wounds at the moment and things are coming in. And I had a fascia release healing a few days ago, and I've been trying to listen to the recording, but because it was such a deep healing, every time I listen to the recording, I just slump into alpha. I just go into a sleep state because the patterning is working its way through. It takes between 7 and 14 days to actually, for the healing to really take effect. And I have shared before that I was sexually abused when I was little. And one of the things that did surface was very specific ages, and there were a number of them, and I only remember a few. So for me, my mind hasn't been ready consciously to deal with everything that actually happened, only some of it. And this obviously picked up all the subconscious dates and times, and so they all came up. And I was listening this morning, trying to listen to the recording again this morning. And afterwards, I just felt like depleted. I kind of just went into quite a vulnerable space and curled up and just started crying. I just started releasing that. So even though it's not a conscious memory, it's still in there, and it totally tapped in. Like I knew those were the days. I knew that that's what it was relating to. And she actually said, you're going to feel like you just need that support and comfort and just to be held. And it's amazing how the universe supports you, because as I was going into that feeling, my lovely partner walked in and I could just feel him there, and he touched my hand and I touched his, and he just came in and he just hugged me and held me and was there to hold me while I was feeling these things and going through this. Now, I know that a lot of people are possibly saying, I don't have someone lovely to hold me. I've been in that place before when I was completely alone and held myself, which is also an important skill to develop within yourself, is to be there for yourself. And in fact, sometimes when I'm going through a purging of a wound, and I think, Leisha, you've said the same, I actually need to retract and go into my own space, but actually allowing yourself to feel whatever comes up and whatever needs to be felt is so, so, so important for its release. So I just wanted to share that with you, because we're all going through this. And I even said to Leisha weeks ago, I was like, oh, I'm feeling like such a mess today, like, how am I being this person who's supposedly holding light for people and, being this person that is supposed to be inspiring, and here I am like going, whoa, and feeling like a mess today myself. And then Leisha said, no, don't worry, I've done the same. And so I'm sharing that with you guys because we're all in the same boat, we're at different stages of our healing, all of us, but we're all going through this together. That is life. That is the process of conscious evolution, is to go through these things. And the reason why I wanted to bring Leisha to you guys is because for me, it's about surrounding yourself with the right support systems, and then also the right tools and knowledge to help you move through this with a bit more ease, because that really is the key. You are going to feel these things. You're going to experience these things. These things are going to come up. But how do we support ourselves to move through them with a bit more ease? And so maybe, Leisha, you want to speak a little bit into that.
Yeah, I mean, people often ask me, how do I heal my wounds? And sometimes that question comes from fear that people are worried they can't heal them, that they're so consuming and overwhelming and big they just don't know, especially if they've lived with them for many years, how on earth that could possibly happen. But I have seen thousands of people move through the most difficult stuff you could ever imagine just by showing up for themselves and deciding that they want to do that. So, you know, it's not about knowing how to do it. Like, that's the mind, you know, it wants to analyze and understand the process. And it's not really about that. It can become about that once you've decided, I really want to get in touch with this and I want to work on it and I want to heal it, because we eventually get to a point in our lives as conscious beings where we realize that wounding takes up space, it takes life force, it's disempowering, it's denying, it's restricting, and it's absolutely preventing our creative flow, it's preventing the truth of our soul to come in, and our lives are diluted because of our wounding. Now, our wounding is meant to be there too. You know, we've incarnated in to be human, to have duality, and to experience wounding. So at the soul level, we've agreed to it. But then the higher self comes in and sets things up for us so that we can have the triggers and have the opportunities. You know, people often say to me, oh, I don't, you know, I'm so scared I'm going to manifest this negative thing again because I've had it so many times before, you know, maybe an unhealthy relationship. And I just, you know, I don't want to think about it because they're scared of manifesting it. But it's not really the law of attraction in that sense. You know, if you keep attracting that thing that triggers you, it's because you haven't healed the wound. So your higher self loves you so much that it's going to do anything for you. And if you're not looking at the wound, you're not feeling the wound. So it's kind of denied and repressed. And the only way that you can feel it then, if you're not consciously seeking for it in the first place at that point, then your higher self has to construct life experiences to bring it up. You have to get triggered, you know, and sometimes you have to be hurt or, you know, upset or betrayed or, you know, whatever the situation is for it to rise in your life. And that's the opportunity. And people say, I keep manifesting it. I don't want to manifest it. The answer is heal the wound.
Yeah.
It's not your belief systems alone. It's a much deeper resonance of wounding that's in there. So I was just going to sum it up. Yeah, go for it.
Because what you're saying is so important, because so many people battle with that. They go, this patterning, you know, these patterns in my life, you know, I keep attracting the wrong man, or I keep attracting, you know, betrayal, like you were talking about, or I keep attracting this or whatever. And it's like that. It's the table that you keep knocking your toe into. But what's wonderful is, and this is something I want you guys to hold in your hearts and in your minds, because what's wonderful is that you don't stop just attracting it once it's healed, because sometimes the universe, once it's healed, will send you that situation so that you can bump into it and go, wow, I've grown, I've released, I've moved through this now, and I'm so much, there's ease, you know, with which you move through. So just hold in your minds that, yes, it will happen, but it will also happen at some point and you'll go, oh, wow, okay, it's there now. I've gotten there now. So I just want to give you guys some hope in the context of all of this. Sorry, Leisha, carry on.
Oh, yeah, no, that's absolutely true. And I see that a lot too, where people will say to me, I can't believe this is happening again. I thought I healed this wound. And sometimes the response to that is you have healed the wound, but what's happening is an opportunity for you to witness yourself responding differently. And look, this is an important point. Let's just use this betrayal charge as an example. If that was your wound and you've healed it, it doesn't mean you're never, ever going to be betrayed again. What it means is if that does happen, you don't react the same way. It doesn't tear you apart. You know, you're capable of dealing with it. You're empowered. You've got more life force to deal with it. And so you react totally differently. And sometimes, like you say, it does have to happen again for the example to show you that you've grown, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I really, like, I kind of knew that before, but working with you was what really solidified it in me, you know? And so, and what's wonderful is once you're aware of these things, then you catch them happening because you're conscious of them. So you can actually look at it. Whereas sometimes when you're not aware of them, things are happening and you're just feeling like overwhelmed and you're not sure of the direction. But once you're conscious of it, suddenly you can deal with it in a different way, which I think is part of the gift.
Actually, that's a really important point. Something I wanted to talk about on this call is that there's layers of wounding. Yeah. And we become conscious, as I said, over time, as conscious beings, everyone on this call, conscious beings, awakened beings. We become conscious of our wounds over time. But the most difficult wounds that we have can stay repressed for a really long time, and the ego can get trickier and trickier and trickier in the way that it will repress them. So I love this example I'll share about a beautiful woman I worked with recently. So she wanted to work on money stuff. And lots of people want to work on money stuff. And in the first session, we never work on money stuff. It's always childhood wounding, relationships. It's anything else where there's a wound that's projecting onto money. So it shows up in your money space, unworthiness, distrust, whatever it is, lack of receptivity, coming from another wound. And in this case, the first thing that came through for this woman was, we need to talk about your father. And she said, I don't know why that is. We're civil, we're fine. I don't have any triggers there. I mean, we're not close. He probably shouldn't have had kids, but that's okay. He just wasn't that kind of father. I don't really, that's not registering for me. That doesn't resonate for me. I said, okay, let's just go with it and see what happens. And as we went into it and into it and into it and into the layers, there was such a deep wound of longing that the father was there for her, that he wasn't there to hold her and love her and mentor her and be there and provide and teach her. And she had created a coping mechanism because of that abandonment, because of that lack of fathering. She created a belief system that said, I didn't need him. It's not an issue. I don't feel much about that. And she'd also developed a belief system that she can't ask him for help or money because there's no emotional connection. He just won't give it to her. And so what happened was this very deep wound of longing to be loved and held by her father was projected onto her money reality. I can't ask for it. I can't receive it. It's not there for me. So her father wounding was very much manifesting in her relationship with money. And it was a really profound, deep emotional session that at the end she said, I cannot believe we went there, that I would never have guessed in a million years that that's where we needed to go. And, that's the power of healing. It's the power of being facilitated when that's right for you. It's the power of working in groups when that's right for you. It's the power of using tools, because our conscious mind is controlled by the ego a lot of the time. And so the wounds that we easily feel, and we can say, I've got this wound. I just know I have this, and it's uncomfortable. It's difficult, but I know that I have it. They're easier to deal with. And, the ones that are a lot more painful are the ones that are harder to find. And, that's where we're being asked to go as a race and as individuals at the moment, is to deepen that journey.
It's so there's two things that really came up with for me there when you were speaking. And the one is, just honoring yourself and knowing you don't need to rush yourself when the wound is ready to heal. It's like when the student is ready, the master will appear. I really believe that when the wound is ready to heal, the people, situations, tools will present themselves as opportunities for you to take that into hand and to heal. But really honor yourself and don't rush yourself, because a lot of people, and I know that I've been like that in the past, and I'm like that still sometimes, but I'm much better now, is when you go, but I've got this wound and I've got to heal it like now. I just don't want to carry this anymore, like it's enough. And the reality is that I am somebody that works immensely on myself, and that when the wound is ready to heal, it will heal. And even if you've read a book that contains that one little phrase that is going to help your mind shift into a different understanding that will help you read that wound, you can have read that book 20 times, but until you're ready to heal, that penny will not drop. And so be patient with yourselves, be gentle with yourselves on this healing journey. And then the other thing that came up for me when you were talking now, Leisha, is the difference between a one-on-one session versus a group healing session, because something that I've found is definitely a pattern, and I see it so strongly every time I do readings online with people, or whether I do healings, is that there is a universal tap in to something that actually resonates with everybody that has come into that call at that time. Can we
totally.
talk a bit
Yes,
about
absolutely.
that?
Yeah.
I think it's really important.
Yeah, so every single time I work with a group, and I work with a group in the same way as I do an individual by reading the triggers, wounds, limitations that are showing up in that consciousness, is that divine order governs that every single time. So whoever is there is meant to be there, and it's relevant for them to be there. And what will happen is there will be themes and energies and imprints that are similar in that group, or waves, or cycles that move through that group. What also happens is, and what I see and know, is that it's soul contracted. So the souls, the beings, have agreed to do this, to participate, to help each other and support each other. And when we have group intention, there's an accelerated intensity and accelerated power that moves the space. And, this is why we do meditation. It's been documented by science now that when we do a mass meditation of a certain number, they've said the crime rate drops, and, all these things happen in the field because we are the field. Occasionally people will say to me, oh, but I don't want to take anyone's stuff on. And sometimes people are concerned about that, but that's only if they've got a wound actually around that, or a fear around that. But it's the opposite. What happens is you're supported, and your growth is accelerated, and your release points are accelerated. So they're both amazing, working with one-on-one practitioners, of course. And I recommend doing both if you can, in different settings, in different contexts, because they're so rich and so profound in different ways.
I am so excited that you are launching a group membership, which I already said to you, like, I want to be a part of it, because I believe that as well. I know that to be true, that when we are working with, I definitely find value in working one-on-one, but I also find such value in working as a collective. And that's why I started Thrive, because I know that when we bring lots of energies together and lots of collective consciousness with the same purpose, to uplift, to bring hope, to bring light, to bring love, to bring support, there's a magic that happens. And I'm so excited about your membership program. I can't wait to actually be a part of it. The other thing that you really, because I can see we've already only got 22 minutes left.
We might have to do another webinar.
I know. The other thing that I'm super excited about, which I feel that you also help me with immensely, is how to come into center, so come into a place of empowerment, and then within that find your life's path. Because when you can do that, when you are living in purpose, when you are living in flow, it is the most incredible feeling. And although challenges do pop up, it is, this is our reason really for being, is to get into that space. So how do you facilitate that?
So this is really interesting. Lots of people want to focus on their creations and want to focus on what they want to create in the world, which is a worthy desire if it's in alignment with your soul, because often we can get confused with creating stuff from the mind or the ego. Empowerment is really the willingness to show up for yourself. It's the willingness to show up for what is your truth. And that is not as simple as it sounds. What's really going on inside you, the light, the dark, the shadow, the challenges, the brilliance, all of it. And then take action accordingly. So it doesn't mean you have to have knowledge or wisdom or skills. You don't have to know any of the answers. That's not empowerment. That's knowledge or wisdom, something you can learn. Empowerment is actually just saying, I'm willing to show up, come what may. So I've seen this wave accelerate a lot as well over the last couple of years, where it's been so important, and my guidance around this too, with the work that I do with people supporting empowerment, so important, because when we heal our wounds, or we connect or acknowledge them, they're like batteries, they're like energy balls that just are buzzing inside of us. They actually start to integrate and support our life force and create space, actually. So the most significant way to increase our empowerment is to work on our wounding, because our wounding distorts our reality, and then we act, believe, and feel from that distorted reality. Healing our wounds means we integrate and we create space. And when we do that, we literally become an open channel for our soul essence, our soul directives, our soul guidance, our soul truth to download into our mind, into our body, into our life. And we start feeling, thinking, and doing differently. This is where our creations take off. This is where our soul path comes into alignment. This is where we suddenly feel to go to this workshop and meet this person, and things start happening. Synchronicity accelerates. All of that comes from the soul. Actually, I've created a mini course on this in the membership as a bonus on this exact topic. And this is one of the things that I want to focus on this year, is helping people heal the wound, to expand the empowerment, to get the truth of what are you doing? What's your path? What are you here for? And how can we facilitate that moving forward in your life?
This is all such beautiful, 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 beautiful work. For people out there who want to get involved, tell us a little bit about more about the membership program, because you've got two things that we're going to offer people today. Now, for those of you who are watching, and have been a part of my network before, this is the first time I'm actually saying I think you should invest in something. I'm constantly, I'm the eternal student, that I believe in investing in yourself. But this is the first time I'm working with somebody very specific, and I'm saying, guys, I think this will really assist you on your journey of evolution. And I will be doing this in the future with other people as well. But I feel very honored, Leisha, that you are the first person that I am doing this with. And there are two things that we're going to offer you guys today. And the first is the Essential Support Meditation package that Leisha has created, which I've been using, and it's really assisted me so much. And then also the Conscious Evolution membership. So let's talk a little bit about both of those packages and what people can expect from using them and being a part of them.
Yeah, sure. So we can offer a discount on the essential support. So I've created a meditation bundle of 5 meditations. They're really more deep kind of sound journeys, very layered, very subliminal, that take you through a guided healing and transformation process. So sometimes, we find it difficult to access our stuff. We find it difficult to get out of the mind. So I'm a really big fan of tools and resources. And I'm building some of that to be more expanded in my membership with other meditations as well, and resources and things, so that there is somewhere you can go to access something that can support you in that moment to get through whatever's coming up for you. Morning ritual, evening ritual, there's a stillness practice, there's a emotional healing, and there's a clear, balance, and align, which I obviously memorize the words because I create them. So I'm always doing that. I'm always clearing limited thoughts and matrix fields and kind of just doing that. So it will also educate you around the language that you can use. I do have some free resources on my website as well under free resources, my free resources page, with some script work, which can help you start to command your own process, start to become empowered around the shifts that you want to make. If there's 2 I could recommend on this call, especially with what's happening on the planet right now, is there's one called Clearing Negative Thought Forms, and there's one called Power Retrieval or Reclaiming Your Power. Those 2 are really powerful, and whoever uses them always says to me that they do feel an energetic shift, because when we command something as creators, it is happening in energetic space. We start to become more powerful in our own reality. So coming into Conscious Evolution, my membership program, it's so funny that it's releasing now, right? With everything that's going on. I was going to do it in February, but the guidance was like, no, it's April. I'm like, okay. So this is obviously why I really understand now collective space is really important and really, really needed. And it's a heart calling for me too, because I feel like I want to be in a collective. I want to participate in it. I want to connect with people in a group way. And I want to read the group and support you all and bring some stuff up and help it be cleared more effortlessly and more easily. I want to help you empower. I want to help you bring your gifts in, your discernment, your boundaries, your sense of self, your truth, so that your soul embodiment can happen. You know, soul embodiment is where the directives and the essence of your soul is more available in your mind, body, consciousness for you to act on in your life. And so if I could sum it up, I would say that's why I'm creating this program. And
it really has been a calling, Leisha, to create this. And it's so, I always find it so affirming, I suppose, and so it fills me with ease, because when things are in alignment, you'll get messages to just confirm that is what should be. And sometimes I will ask for things and say, universe, please send me the message that this is what should be, if that is right and in alignment with my highest purpose and everyone else's highest purpose. And I remember, guys, just so that you know, when I first met Leisha, so I had bugged Robin Banks. Robin, one of my best friends, Robin Banks, Leisha is his spiritual coach as well. And I'd been working with Robin for a while, and we were obviously friends as well. And I could see what was going on and the way that he was shifting. And so I said, please give me Leisha's contact details. And he did not want to share them with me. He was like, no, she's full. She's not taking on anybody else. No. And it took me ages to get Leisha's contact details out of Robin. And I knew she was full, but I wrote to her and I said, look, please, can we just have a Skype meeting and just connect with each other, and then we can take it from there. And because I also needed to know that it was right, and you only really know once you connect like this. And that's why I wanted to create this space, so that you guys would have the opportunity to connect with Leisha in this way and really feel her energy and her wisdom coming through. And we started chatting, and then I knew, I was like, yes, I need to work with Leisha. And so I literally said, universe, please just put it in Leisha's mind that it would be good to actually work with me. And then towards the end of our call, just a few minutes later, she said, I'm actually getting a message to say that, yes, it would be good for us to work together. I don't know if you remember this, Leisha. And then, and I said, and then she said, but I just don't have any space at the moment. And I said, please, universe, just say that you will find like one session now, even if it is just one session, for us to kick off our work, and then we will find space later. And that is exactly what then came out of Leisha's mind. She said, but I'm getting a message that I'm going to find a gap and we will start working together. And so the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because I don't think anything happens by mistake. And when a couple of months ago, when I had this feeling of it would be so great if Leisha did group sessions together, because I do believe that the collective would really be empowered by group sessions. And then literally not long after, as Leisha said to me, so I'm thinking of launching this membership program. It was just, I knew I had to be a part of it, and I had to be a part of bringing it to you. So I'm so glad, Leisha, that we have gotten this time to be here today and to share with everyone today. I know there's some comments coming through. Somebody said, I've used the bundle and it's absolutely incredible. It's given me such instant results, which is wonderful. And when you are conscious and you catch yourself being conscious, the wound trigger, but you have the tools that help you, that's what transforms. Absolutely. I'm getting other messages here. Not being afraid to open old wounds and allow whatever it is to come out and start healing the process. That is what's important. Absolutely. I love the connection, the necessity to heal the wound, but also show growth through a test. That's wonderful. What a lovely insight. There is so much power in knowing that. Yes, absolutely. My mom has tuned in and she's saying she remembers that because I remember getting off the call with you and going, Mom! She's listening and she's saying she remembers.
Oh, how sweet.
I had a family friend not wanting to transition into the vibrations, and she is in ICU now for over a week, and went from totally fine to wanting to opt out. Over the last week, she went from fine to wanting to opt out. She's on life support now. Wow, that's very intense. I hope that she recovers and heals quickly. I'm sorry to hear that. A lot of people so excited. This is wonderful. I'm watching. There's also messages on Instagram coming through. Leisha and I also chatted because they said you don't need to be perfect. It's your authenticity that becomes your light. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that because we all do battle, and then especially when you're in a position like Leisha and myself where you are guiding others, I need to remind myself that I am human and it's okay for me to, be going through all of these things with you. But Leisha, is there something else that you would like to leave people with? Because I know we were chatting and we said that you would be connecting with our audience more frequently, which I'm very excited about.
Yes, absolutely. I think there was a lot more we wanted to talk about tonight, wasn't there? Yeah. And time kind of got condensed. And I did want to take people through a group healing as well, actually. So we can either do a short one now, or we can actually do another webinar soon, or another opportunity when we connect, Susanna. But if we could do one now, I'd like to just bring something through. I feel like that is coming through and does want to come through.
Yes. I'm feeling the same thing. I know that a lot of people have been really excited about doing the group healing.
Oh, I'll just say this. Someone's just asking about the link. Yes, and thank you so much for your support, beautiful people on this call. You will receive a link in your email, right, Susanna? So if people do want to join, we are giving a bonus to all you guys. So the first month is only $7. If you jump on the wait list, so the program is not open yet until the 15th of April. So prior to that, there is a wait list, and everyone that is on that wait list gets the $7 bonus. So you'll get links and coupons so that you can absolutely join. And I'd be so honored to have you. Absolutely honored to have you.
And I will put those links in as well, guys, for everyone that's listening on social media. I will put those links onto Facebook as well and on Instagram so that you guys can check them out. And then everybody on the mailing list, don't worry, I will send all of those links to you so that you don't have to worry about them now.
All the information's there. And you'll get a coupon code to the Essentials bundle as well. So this energy is starting to come in. So maybe if we all just take a breath and just come into center for a moment. And it's been quite a big talk about wounding. It's been quite a big talk about where we're contracted tonight. I feel like this is where the energy wants to go. So just become aware of light coming in through your crown. That is your higher self presence. It's always available to you, ever present, ever potent, unconditionally loving. It's never separate to you, embodied with you. And just take a moment to surrender to this higher self, this part of you, to guide you through this process. Letting go of the mind and the ego and the lower self for a moment. And just allow that high self presence to guide you into awareness of a trigger that you have. It may be a small trigger, a subtle trigger. Let your higher self decide where you need to go in this process, not your mind. Is it in the body? Is it in the emotions? Is it an event or a stimulus of some kind? And whatever occurs to you is right in this moment. And just acknowledge it as a trigger point. something you're working with, something that comes up. And just imagine or allow your energy field to expand and expand and expand, embracing that trigger, embracing where it is in the body, where it is in the energy field, where it is in the emotions, and where it is in the greater you, acknowledging it without any judgment. And then just drop a little deeper, higher self guiding you, just to drop under the trigger a little bit deeper inside, to perhaps any awareness that's available, no wrong or right, about how that trigger contracts you. How does that trigger create limitations, reactions, patterns or programming that plays out in your life? And in this deeper layer, again, just acknowledging no wrong or right, allowing your energy field to expand and expand and expand, to embrace that awareness, those limitations and those reactions without any judgment, just holding them, present with them. And just gently now, if you're able to, no pressure, no wrong or right, no expectation, just gently dropping in a little bit further. Can your higher self guide you into another layer? That is there a wound? Is there a deeper awareness, a point of discomfort, of contraction in your being that's under all of that? No right or wrong, just gentle awareness. And there may be no words or logic here at all. There might just be a body sensation. There might just be a contraction of some kind, an emotion, a thought. If you need information on this, it will occur to you now or at a later time. Trust that completely. Allow your energy field to just expand and embrace that wounding wherever it is, however it is in your being, and just accept it as energy, as experience, as learning, and just be totally present for a moment. And whether you have awareness about what it is or not doesn't matter. Just come in gently to intention, your own intention, that you are ready, willing, and able to lovingly and gently connect with that wounding or that contraction within you in your own way, in your own time, for healing and integration in alignment to your highest good, your empowerment and your soul path activation. There's a really big release there. Huge wave of energy releasing there, and letting go of all that resistance, all those limited thoughts, all that unwillingness, all that I can't, all that fear. Releasing into the above, into the higher self. It's dissolving, dissolving, dissolving. You can do this. You are doing this. And releasing what's in the way. And as that releases, just this last point of awareness, if it's available to you without any pressure, just let your higher self come in once more to offer you any awareness at all around how would your life be different if and when this wound, this contraction, this point of connection heals and integrates. how would your experiences change? Your behaviors, your thoughts, what you magnetize to you, how empowered you feel. No right or wrong, just whatever awareness is available and right for you in this moment. And just receive that. Just gently into the heart. And just let that integrate in its own way to your core, into your heart, holding yourself with gentle acceptance and gentle love, no matter what is inside you to heal, no matter what is buried, no matter what is limited, that it's there as a teacher, that your higher self never gives you anything you can't handle, and that you're ready at your level to go deeper with yourself. And just gently holding that, and then coming back into the room when you're ready.
How is everyone doing? Are you coming back into the room? Let me know. Okay, so we've got extraordinary coming up there.
Beautiful. You know, this is my pleasure. This is my greatest joy, is to help people heal and to help people deepen their relationship with their self. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you for your comments and shares there, guys. Absolutely beautiful.
Absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much, Leisha. That was
my pleasure.
Really, really beautiful and powerful. Guys, as I said, I will be sharing those links with you guys. So just check your emails and you will receive all the links that you need. I see so many thank yous. Wow, thank you so much. Thank you, beautiful and powerful, beautiful messages coming through. I know that Instagram cut us off because Instagram only allows for an hour at a time, and it does cut off. But I will be also sharing a recording of this, so that if anybody missed any part of it, you can go back and listen to it again. It's also just very important to note, and I want you guys to know this, that when Leisha does any kind of healing, that it is, maybe you want to describe it, but it will be as powerful whether you listen to it live,
yes, absolutely,
or whether you hear it afterwards and play it again. So maybe just explain how that works before you go, Leisha.
Yes, someone's asking to contact me. Yes, anyone can jump on my website, leishajarrett.com, if you want more information. Absolutely welcome to reach out and connect with me. So when I work in group consciousness, I'm working with all of you at the soul and higher self level, past, present, and future, in the now moment. And that means that people that weren't live, that are present in the future, are actually here now. And at any time that you replay this recording, it is happening in the now. So your higher self is always working with you in the now moment. And when I work with group consciousness, I'm bringing through unique and intuitive processes that I'm just given in the moment. So nothing is planned. It's just whatever you need. I'm channeling it and I'm told what needs to come through based on what you guys need, based on what your higher selves are asking me to offer and share. And that's how the membership will run, is that I will be there for you. I will create resources you guys need. I'll be reading your group consciousness and delivering this organically for you. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So for everybody that is listening, I'm going to email you in a couple of minutes with those links. So if you would like to become a part of Leisha's Conscious Evolution membership, I I urge you to do so because, I will be a part of it as well. She is being so generous, and the first month is only $7, which is really nothing. And that will give you a great way of really feeling your way through the first month and seeing whether that is for you. And so thank you, Leisha, for creating that opportunity for people to really understand. There's also that meditation bundle that you guys can get. And Leisha said that you will be sharing a special coupon to give that to you guys. And then also for everybody else that is listening on the social media networks, yes, I will have Leisha back on again, and she's going to become a regular with us, which is wonderful. I had put that as well, Leisha. I was like, oh, I so want Leisha to be a regular on the Thrive, in the
yes,
Thrive
I would
community.
love that.
And then Leisha reached out after her first session with me, and she was like, that was great, let's do that more. And I was like, yes, absolutely, let's do that more. So thank you, Leisha. Many blessings and deepest gratitude for your love, your light, and all your beautiful energy that you have.
So welcome. It's truly, it's so my honor and so my joy to be here, and I want to do it more. So lots of love, and thank you for all of your energy and presence and beautifulness, and lots of love, everybody.
Thank you so much, Leisha. And I'm gonna let Leisha go, and I'm just gonna let you guys know that Thrive is a community that I'm starting, and I just would love you guys to be a part of it, because it really is just the bringing together of like-minded people who want to evolve in love, in health and healing, in spirit and connection, in wealth and in happiness and mindset. And so I would love you guys to join me on this journey, and I'll put a link for you guys to join that as well. But blessings to all of you. Thank you for being
blessings,
a part
everyone.
of it. And see you guys soon. Bye for now.
Bye, everybody. Bye.